Welcome back to 5th grade Unit 3 Earth Systems. The last couple weeks you've been looking at the hydrosphere and the geosphere. So we've looked at where the water lies within the Earth as well as what's inside of our Earth. Now we're going to build our way outside of what the ground and the materials that we can stand on. We're going to work our way into the atmosphere. So this week you'll be learning about the atmosphere and you'll be creating a diagram of the different layers. What I'd like you to do is you're going to create a Google document that's going to be titled Atmosphere, and make sure that it's called Atmosphere, just as the other two. The presentation was Hydrosphere, and your first document was the Geosphere. Then I want you to log into BrainPop using the username and password Waukesha as the username and media as the password. Make sure that's between the times of 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Sometimes it shuts itself off. And you're going to complete the Earth's Atmosphere video, which you'll see to the right side here. So make sure you watch that. It's 3 to 5 minutes. It's not too long. Then after you watch that video, I want you to go to the Atmosphere website, and that link is going to take you to something that looks like this, and it's going to give you the different, what goes into the different layers of the atmosphere. And it's going to be very specific. It's also going to be very helpful when you're creating your diagram. We'll also be going through that in your e-session this week. Once you are done looking through that website and watching the video, I want you to create that diagram of the different layers and make sure that you label the layers the exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere. And I want you to include a drawing or picture of something you might find in each of those layers. As you saw on the website, it does show you some things that might exist in those layers. I'd like you to think of something that might be different than what you see. Sometimes there are only a couple things that could be there, so that's fine. Once you complete the diagram, I want you to upload it into the document, and underneath that picture I want you to answer the following questions about the atmosphere. First of all, why is there so little that can be found so high in the sky? B is, why is there more oxygen for us to breathe closer to Earth? And think about what density is, and if you're not sure of that, make sure that you ask your teacher. And lastly, how do humans use the atmosphere? And list a couple of ways, and that can be any layer of the atmosphere, and try to be very specific with that. After you're done with that, you're going to move into your literacy connection. And obviously last week we did a lot to do with our the hydrosphere, but you're going to continue with your writing on freshwater and freshwater conservation. So go into your water notes as well as your water conservation document, and you should have your paper set up after last week, but I also want you to make sure that you are looking at your water notes from last week that you should have already taken. And then you're going to be writing your section on freshwater, and this should be 10 to 15 sentences. Within that, you're really going to be answering most of the questions that you already answered last week. So what is freshwater compared to saltwater? What are some uses of freshwater? What makes freshwater so important? And what percentage of the water in the world is freshwater? So remember to elaborate, because remember you have to have 10 to 15 solid sentences that flow very nicely within this section.